There's an island I know, we get a little rain, wind, and snow, but the feeling seems to flow. It's a place that I call home. We get the music at the market on the weekend. The people don't seem to play pretend. The snow-capped mountain looking over my shoulder. The summer seems to get much shorter and colder. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. But there's beautiful people, familiar faces.
Hello.
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 Hello. Good morning. And see you later. Get away, creep. Okay, so welcome back to Tiki Ra on the Road. And here we've got the man behind the music.
Hello.
A lot of people have been throwing in comments saying how much they're loving the music on the podcast. So I thought we'd better get Adam in sooner than later to find out a bit about, what inspired him to write the words he wrote. Because I imagine you wrote them, how many years ago?
Probably about 15, 20 years ago.
Wow.
I reckon.
Yeah, so they were written 15, 20 years
Years
ago,
ago,
and yet the words are so pertinent to now.
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration behind the writing of the words?
Well, different songs. The first one, Traveling Long, is a song about sort of like guy meets girl, loses girl, wants girl back song.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I'd basically gone traveling to find this girl I'd been going out with, but then we'd broken up, and then I wanted to get back together, and it was all very romantic. And so I sort of chased it all through Europe
Wow.
until I found her again in Switzerland. Yeah. And then she said she didn't want to see me. So I was like
Well, yeah, I've been traveling on through sleepless cities, singing my song through countless countrysides, writing the words, hypnotic train trips, speaking in verse, and I've seen things that only people have dreamt, and there's many more dreams that are yet to be slept, and I'm living 10 lives in the space that is one, without regrets till I'm done. But if there were one thing that I could take back, it would be you and all that you are. And if there were one moment that I could relive.
Did you learn about through that experience?
just to patience. Yeah, a lot of patience because I had to go to places where people couldn't speak English,
Yeah, wow.
right out in the
Tricky.
middle of nowhere, and then it's fine when you're in the city centres, of course, but everyone speaks English. But then as soon as you go a few hours out into the country, it's like whatever country you're in, then that's what everybody speaks. So it's Swiss German and German. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
wow.
it was really cool though. It
Yeah.
was an amazing journey, and on that journey, I wrote a lot of the lyrics to "Traveling Long," which is the traveling song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
and
Nice
that's
one.
sort of like and the chorus is like, "And if there were one thing that I could take back," yeah, it's like a sort of like, "Oh,
I can
wish you
take
could
that
have
back.
that, take it back," but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and but yeah, so it's a traveling song. It's sort of a love song.
Yeah.
It's sort of saying like at that point in my life, I felt like I was living. Already lived 10 lives before this
Yeah, wow.
life. So, and then it was like being busy and moving around the world playing music. It was like living 10 lives in the space that is one. That's one of the lines, and it felt a lot like that when I was touring. Yeah,
which is happening a lot now.
yeah,
Like right live right now is heading along at 1,000,000 miles an hour,
isn't it?
which was one of the reasons I was so heavily attracted to that song. And so one of the other songs you've got there is really pertinent to now, and it's called Listen.
Hmm.
And you say it so well with your words in the song about, listening to someone else and how important it is to listen to someone else.
Mm.
What was happening in your life that inspired you to write that song?
I think, well, yeah, sort of just touching on how important it is to listen to each other. And the old saying, we have two ears and one mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak. And I, yeah, I think sometimes I felt frustrated when you're talking to someone where they don't listen and they just talk over you, or it seems they don't really care what you're saying. They're just sort of thinking about what the next thing is they're going to say. And so, yeah, so for me, when I listen to someone, I make sure that I'm not thinking about anything else, and I'm just like fully engaged with that person, and I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say next. I'm just listening to what they say, and then when there's a time for me to speak, I'll speak, but I won't jump in. And sometimes that means you never speak.
So true.
Because some people just talk and then there's no stop. It sort of doesn't really matter if you're there or not. They would still be talking. Yeah. But
And
so
so,
yeah.
like in a sense, it's about effective communication.
Mm,
Yeah, which
mm,
is something like in our fast-paced life right now is really lacking. We're just so busy and there's so much information coming at us that, and the kids now with their games on the computers and everything, there's just so much being
mm.
received that to listen effectively has become even harder.
It's almost impossible. If you've got a phone with you, like a smartphone, it's just pulling on your attention all the time. It's designed to make you a slave to it, really, isn't it? And
Yeah,
it's like this whole extra layer of distraction reality, like between us and reality. So
yeah.
it's like this whole shield of just crazy stuff flashing in front of you all the time, and then behind that there is what we think is reality.
Mhm.
But it's just this huge block now, isn't it?
Well, it's almost like an onion. Like, like they said, we were moving into this multi-dimensional field and there's so many layers, so many dimensions working at one moment in time. And
Mm.
it's becoming interesting in that you can actually exist in a few at one moment, which I
Yeah,
find interesting.
yeah,
Like when I'm editing now with the podcast, I can be on that physical 3D world level, but then my intuition will say, "Hey, stop there,
mm,
cut. Hey, start it then there."
yeah,
And so it's like there's these two layers working at once.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you're sort of sliding between them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
time.
yeah.
For someone that talks a lot, you don't say much. For someone that says they know it all, you seem a little out of touch. If you listen with your eyes before your ears, you'll probably feel that he who speaks loudest never ever really has the most appeal. You've got to listen, place a kiss upon my cheek. You've got to listen twice as much as
And how about your song "Forever Rich"? That was another one that was really popular on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Forever Rich is a song about looking at the glass as half full instead of half empty. So looking at what you have instead of what you don't have. Um, so being grateful for what you do have. And we all have something, we all have
Mm,
things. Even if we have very little, we have life and we have breath and we can move around and we have a body and all this kind of stuff. And I think it's easy to not be. It's easy to forget to be grateful for the small things because if you can be satisfied and happy with just something small that you have, then you don't really need anything else. You don't need all these greater riches that we're sort of almost programmed with from the media, to have money and cars
yeah, yeah,
and houses but you can't really you can't take it with you when you die and
yeah.
supposedly maybe I don't know, maybe you can.
Well, I mean, if you look in Egypt in the tombs, they used to get buried with all their riches,
Yeah.
including their women
Yeah,
and the
right.
slaves. They would all be buried together so that in
Yeah.
the afterlife they could be reborn into spirit together.
I wake up in the morning and I say my prayers, step into my slippers and walk down the stairs. And there's no food, no milk for tea, and the rain's coming through the roof on me. And the weatherman's preaching that we're gonna die, and I'm wondering how the hell that I'm gonna survive, because I can't eat my songs and I can't drink my rhymes, and my guitar skills won't pay the rent on time. But hey, it's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be okay, cause the world can repossess everything I own, but they can't take my heart and they can't take my soul. Home is where the heart is, and my heart is in the music, and I sing it all night, and I'm never gonna lose it when I'm doing it park and I'm in a ditch. I'm gonna sing it out loud and I'll forever be rich, forever be rich, yeah. So I pull yet another latch up my belt and stick out my chin, put on a stiff upper grin, out into the street and how do you do? I run into a man who's only wearing one shoe, he had blue
Yeah.
And so I've noticed in listening to your music that it's changed a lot over the years to where
Hmm.
you are now.
Hmm.
So what happened between there and now? Because it's such different music, and yet the words still remain just as poignant.
Mm.
But the style of music has kind of evolved into this, new amazing sound. So
Yeah.
what's happened? Because that's a journey that you've been on that's brought you there. What?
Yeah.
Tell
Well,
us a bit about that.
um, well, traditionally I've been a folk rock artist and done I did that full time for 15 years, um, touring all around the world, playing at festivals. And and then I've been more recently doing some collaboration work with amazing human called Michelle, and her band is Mission Impossible. And yeah, we've been collaborating and writing together, and so um, it's I guess we've been writing to what we have in the duo, and that is Michelle is a singer-songwriter. I'm a singer-songwriter, but I'm also a drummer. I play drums as well, and Michelle is an insane bass player. So drum and bass music. So something which is, very different to folk rock. It's not as mainstream as folk rock. It's more of a niche sound, and it's a bit rock. It's rock and roll too, and it's that sort of it's a bit of a cross between Royal Blood and Rage Against the Machine, I suppose,
Mm,
maybe a little bit.
yeah.
So it's big, heavy beats, massive distortion bass lines, and um, it's just a lot of fun. And now we're playing at other festivals that are more that style of music. So
Yeah.
I guess all of the people that we'd normally see at the festival that's now different festivals,
Yeah, different people.
different people,
Yeah.
different genres.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really exciting in that sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
really
nice.
cool, and it's different, and it's more fun.
Yeah.
Because it's different. I think sometimes you get um not sick of what you're doing, but you sort of okay, what else is there as well?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it seems in observing how your music's evolved over time is that it has more of a spiritual impact now in the fact that the words you're using are so relevant to what we're going through.
Mm,
Like I know, not sure whether you or Michelle wrote the song Frequency,
mm.
but the words are so, and the breath song.
The breathing, yeah, breathe
Yeah,
it in, yeah,
they're so pertinent to what we're going through now. They have such a spiritual aspect to it. So, yeah, talk
mm.
to me about your spiritual awakening, your spiritual understanding. Like, what happened there?
Yeah, well, my spiritual journey started when I was about 10 years old, and having grown up in the United Church with my mum and dad and family, and my dad is also a preacher in the Uniting Church. So that means that we'd be there every Sunday. We'd be doing like being really involved in the church community
Yeah,
and everything like that. And it was like a really fantastic experience growing up in that. And we'd go out on all sorts of, like Easter camps and things where you'd go away 3 or 4 or 5 days. All the youth would go away, and it would be
oh,
like
fun.
this big party slash Bible study
Oh,
slash
yeah,
just
gathering.
crazy times, and
Yeah,
it was really cool. So in that respect, that journey started very early for me, and because going to all those sorts of events, you'd constantly be studying and being questioning and
yeah,
getting
yeah.
asked to think about this stuff all the time.
Right.
Um,
Was that based on the Bible?
based on
Right. Yeah,
Christianity, yeah,
yeah,
Christian churches, the United Church,
yeah.
Christian church, and then that has developed as I've grown older. So as I got a bit older, then I went on to actually be a youth worker in the church, and also like be a chaplain at one of our secondary colleges in Hobart,
Hmm.
in Tasmania, and I worked there for 3 or 4 years, and that was fantastic.
Oh, wow.
And I was there as the person who was running the youth club sort of thing, but also there as a youth worker, so like running events
Yeah,
throughout the school, like on sporting days and stuff like that, and getting students involved in different things. But I was also there as a person, as a bouncing board for people to come and ask me if they had anything to do with like um, God or the Bible or Jesus or spirituality
yeah,
or anything. I was there as that person that students could talk to.
yeah, wow.
So had a lot of these conversations, like just
Who is God?
constantly. Yeah, who is God? Or
Yeah.
I think I'm a vampire, or
Oh, wow.
I saw a demon sitting on my bed, or
Oh.
all anything to do with it, all that.
Were you ever stumped and didn't have an answer for them?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. And there were some people that came through with like almost ghost stories or demon stories or
Yeah.
whatever the stories. And there were 3 times that people came through and they said the exact same story, like
Wow.
the exact same story, and it was over 3 years that those 3 people
Wow.
came, and they didn't know each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's lots of stuff like that used to happen all the time, and
And so did it make you question your belief with their questions?
definitely, yeah, and that's a
Wow.
constant evolving picture for me.
Right.
And so I've incorporated lots of different things over the years, and like seeing how it all comes together, and how every religion is connected, and how every belief is connected, and the energy that runs through everything. Every religion has a different name for that, but it's
Yeah.
essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
So in Christianity, it would be like the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
and like energy healing. It's the energy that you can feel.
Like
It's
the
like the same.
chi.
It's all the same sort of thing. It's all
Yeah.
connected, and everything's connected. And so my eyes have really been opened up a lot in the last 5 years, I think. Learning more and more about the way energy works in the body, and how it can be moved around, and how we can manifest things with our words, and how we can um, basically direct our reality any way that we wish to with our beliefs, with our minds. Um, and yeah, and the story goes on. It's
Yeah.
constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
what?
coming here to Gunya was a big part of that too. Meeting
Yeah.
the people here. Because when I first came here, there were a lot of people that were. I think almost every person was a healer at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So I just went around each person and said, "Oh, tell me about what you know, and like
Uh,
let me learn this from
yeah,
you."
like a
And
hungry child.
yeah, yeah. And so I learned heaps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and have still been developing that stuff, the energy stuff, and the esoterics, and the manifestation um, skills, and the remote viewing, and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And what part do you feel music has in what we're going through spiritually right now?
Um,
How do you see them connected?
for me, like I've been like doing a lot of research and experimenting around frequencies,
Yeah.
and so when we play as a duo in Mission Possible, we always tune to
For
432,
32.
432,
Yeah,
which
there's
is
three
the
in there.
yeah, the 432, which
Yeah.
is the frequency that we all vibrate at as humans,
Yeah.
and the birds and all the old ancient instruments, they all resonate with that frequency.
Yeah.
Whereas everything, so we find that like really healthy and like a healing thing to be sending out into the world. And the beats and the way we say the words, and it's sort of like all very meditative, repetitive, mantra like, and the frequencies and the rhythms and even the speeds the tempos that we play the music at, we've directed all of that to be healing,
Yeah.
of healing quality. So,
So you like
yeah,
musical shamans?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think we spoke not long ago about Matthias de Stefano, who recently on the big shift we had in April was he had a massive shift and came to realize that the matrix that we're stuck in, which is looped together with time, is actually all based on love. And he came into the learning that as long as we put love at the center of everything, we're going to stay trapped in the same time looped matrix. He said the way to get out of this is not to not love, but there's another element that we're missing, and that's sound. And so
Mm,
he says that by finding your own sound and then finding the sound of the environment you're in
mm,
and harmonizing those together can allow you to leave the whole time loop, the whole matrix.
mm.
Now, what
Okay.
we were talking about this morning was, but do we want to leave the matrix? I mean, when we're in our spiritual world, we're in our spiritual world for long amounts of time.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, we've chosen to come into this 3D platform.
Mm,
And so, in some senses, it's like, oh, why would we continue to become enlightened and leave this 3D vibration? Like,
yeah,
yeah, have you got
yeah.
anything you've noticed along those lines?
I don't know. Something sort of jumped into my mind when you said that. It was a movie. I can't remember what the movie was, but the guy was saying that, why, you know, there are good, he was saying there were good things about the 3D realm as well
Yeah.
that he has come to enjoy. And that if he had have known that coming out of it, it would be much harder and the next level, then maybe he wouldn't have done that.
Ah,
Um, and
interesting.
so, but yeah, if you don't make that step out, then you never grow, do you? You stay comfortable and happy.
Yeah, so maybe it's part of our human species to evolve and to find out what else we're capable of.
Yeah.
Because we were also talking this morning about free will and how much free will we actually really have,
Mm,
or whether it's conditioned to maybe the contract we signed before we come in here,
mm,
or is the free will conditioned to what program this human is actually walking in?
mm,
Like in the new beginning that we've already started, it seems like there is a potential possibility that we are going to be able to have free will for the first time in who knows how long. but
Yeah.
an element of that is letting go of the matrix.
Mm.
If you were to design the new world,
Mm.
because this is what's happening with the end of the Piscean age, moving into Aquarian age,
Yeah.
end of the Yuga, the Kali Yuga time, and moving into the platform of the Kali Yuga time. So many times are ending and beginning.
Yeah.
If you were the orchestrator, the conductor of the new Earth,
Yeah.
what sort of elements would you like to see in it?
Oh, the new Earth.
Yeah,
I'd love to connect up with all the technology and the advancements and things that hasn't been shown
yeah,
to us over the last 100 years or whatever.
yeah. Wow.
Because I think, when they were talking about, because people have just, as you know, like people have designed all these inventions, like a car that runs on water, or or an anti-gravity machine, um, and they're all so those patents for
Like
those
Tesla.
machines, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they're all written down and filed away.
yeah.
There are, places you can access them and look at them, so you can see that they're real.
Mm,
But for example, just the anti-gravity. Imagine if there was, you just jump on into your car and it just goes up and
yeah,
wherever.
yeah.
So from that moment, so say from 1950, from that moment, you no longer need roads or infrastructure
No,
or petrol or oil.
no.
So
Petrol
like,
stations.
yeah,
Yeah,
petrol stations, like
yeah.
all of that we didn't even need any of that
No.
from that day. So it'd be really interesting. It'd be fascinating to see the dystopian future of what it would have been
Mm,
like, or step into another reality where it is like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it feels like we're only seconds off it happening because they're already talking about the flying cars.
Oh yeah,
Some of the
yeah,
big companies are making them now.
yeah, yeah. They're making them. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
making drones you can just fly in.
yeah, yeah. And so, like
I
ordering
think
your
Melbourne.
pizza can be brought by a drone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. They
instead
already
of
do that some places.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So it's happening. And
And I
how
think they
about
were saying that in Melbourne, Melbourne's the best city in the world to have
right?
the roof to rooftop service
Oh,
for
nice. Of
drones
course.
to take you across.
Oh, wow. How effective is that? It's going to be interesting. It's going to bring in a whole new caliber of thinking,
Mm,
in a sense, like, yeah, it makes sense the physical things we're going through right now, to adapt to this new change we're going through. And so, how about in relationships? Do you see them being different in the future?
relationships.
Yeah, to how they were in the past. Because look at your music. In the past, you were talking about chasing this chick and,
Mm,
trying to get her and everything.
mm.
Like, is that something you'd still do today? Or are you a different person now? Like, how do you see relationships now in the future?
Yeah, well, I think I don't know, like I think the equality um or equity, you know, I mean, every person's idea of a relationship is different,
Mm,
and for me, it's like really important to have the balance of feminine and masculine,
yeah,
and to not be one-sided. And so everybody gets, their own opinion, and that it is respected with the same weight as the other person, whether it's male or female, or whatever the person chooses to identify as. Um, so yeah, but I think the traditional relationships that my parents grew up with are very different to even now.
mm,
Where back in the era with my parents was like if you got married, then it was expected that it would be forever and you never leave, sort of almost like till death do us part, into never.
that's right.
And my mum and dad are still together, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Hi, mum, dad. Very, and so the relationship sort of sits at the very apex of the relationship
Yeah,
pyramid, which is like the very almost unattainable
yeah, yeah,
thing that their children look at and go, "Oh, I wish I could do
yeah,
that,"
yeah.
but it's different,
It's different. Yeah,
and it's also different, with in my parents' era, if you got a job, you could stay in the job for your entire life
that's
and
right.
get a gold watch at the end of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and now you're having you'd have a different job every 2 years,
Yeah.
like very easily.
And I wonder with the future, the way we're going, and the more AI is taking over and doing a lot more of the manual jobs that people used to do,
Yeah.
like checkout chicks and
Mm.
that sort of job, that is going to free people up more to provide service to each other.
Mm. Mm.
And I'm hoping, and I'm, really putting out manifestations towards the arts and culture becoming, right up there again,
Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing?
because we'll have more time and energy to put into them.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be incredible to see the culture. I mean, imagine if, people were just putting all this money into the arts, into every part of the infrastructure of a city, and it'd just be incredible.
That'd be one big art gallery.
Yeah.
You'd just be walking through a festival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just finish this off with words of advice you've got for me for this big trip I'm about to take.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
open to any words of advice anyone has for me.
All right. Which way are you going this time?
Okay. To Nepal on a motorbike.
Nepal.
Yeah, Nepal on a motorbike through Indonesia,
That's right.
India. Up I go. Maybe I'll keep going. Who knows?
Well, when I traveled in Nepal, I loved it. Absolutely incredible. Um, have enough warm clothes for at night time. It's cold. You're traveling in a group. Stick together, are you?
No,
No,
on a
you're by
motorbike.
yourself. Traveling by yourself. Stick together with yourself
Hold on to that motorbike.
to listen. To be streetwise. Just to, but you're being looked after. So
Yeah.
don't have to worry too much about that respect. But to listen and go
Yeah.
with your gut.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, I don't think I should go there, don't
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah, nice, nice.
Yeah.
And just to finish off, just if you want to let everyone know how they can listen to the music you're playing now.
Oh, yes. So if you want to have a listen to what I'm currently playing with Mission Possible, so you need to look up Mish and Possible. So it's MISH space letter N space Possible, and our music will come up there.
And what platform do you like people to listen to?
Probably just have a look on YouTube at the moment,
Yeah.
but we'll be releasing new stuff soon, which will be on all the platforms.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
There's an island I know, we get a little rain, wind, and snow, but the feeling seems to flow. It's a place that I call home. We get the music at the market on the weekend. The people don't seem to play pretend. The snow-capped mountain looking over my shoulder. The summer seems to get much shorter and colder. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. But there's beautiful people and familiar faces. It's where I wanna be when the cold world races. The people I link with, the friends that I drink with. When the sky's falling down, yeah, it's my family I wanna be with. The beautiful people, beautiful people. Well, there's a pub on the corner you can drink in the street. Philosophy on the lawns, you can wear bare feet. And if you stay out late, there's no pollution in the sky, so you can see the stars. And yeah, we got problems, a few greedy men making decisions with a checkbook and pen. The paper says nobody's cutting the trees. It seems funny to me when the paper's made out of trees. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. there's beautiful people and familiar faces. It's where I wanna be when the cold world races. The people I link with, the friends that I drink with. When the sky's falling down, it's my family I wanna be with. The beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people.